Welcome everyone to Leverage Your Career Brand Trends and Advice for Marketing Your Career. My name is John Giamillo, board member of the American Marketing Association's Connecticut chapter. And tonight you're going to learn about today's latest trends in the evolving industries of marketing and branding. You're also going to gain insight into how to enhance your personal marketing and branding to reflect your best value in your industry. And the person who's going to lead us through that conversation tonight is our guest, branding and marketing solutions expert, Loretta Stevens, founder and CEO of Competitive Edge Branding, LLC. During this session, Loretta is going to guide us through the power of marketing and branding, both at the organizational and personal level. She'll demonstrate how you can refine your power and value and how to present it effectively to others. Now, before we get started with this session with Loretta, a few housekeeping items. First, I want to go through some items and benefit some of the key benefits or demonstrate some of the key benefits of being an American Marketing Association chapter member. I just want to walk you through a few points to demonstrate what it is that the benefits are of both the national level. Sorry about that. So at the national and the chapter level, for the chapter, we have member directory access, where you can access the member directory, get a sense for who else is in our community, who else is a member, and connect with them the way that any networking or professional development society would. There's also the promote your own work through the member news on our website. The same way that you would benefit from meeting other people in the network, you can also spotlight some of the work that you've been doing in your field, in your industry, in your work, in your business. At the national level, there's training, boot camps, and conferences. So AMA also provides a range of opportunities to network, learn, and grow at these events. Obviously, a part of the benefit at both the national and the local level is to have exposure to these types of events to people from different backgrounds from across the country. And there are discounts available for that as well. And then the other one I want to highlight is marketing certifications and getting discounts on these various certifications in PCM, content marketing, marketing management, and sales management exams. Now, I also want to quickly go through the submitting of questions. Many of you come to these events and you have questions right away, or you may have questions as things pop up, specifically as Loretta's going through her presentation, through her workshop. If you have questions prepared, we're going to have a Q&A session later, so you can throw them in the chat and we'll get to them as soon as we get to that portion of the program. If you do have a question as we go, also something that applies to something that she is covering at the moment, I can throw it at Loretta and see if she'll be kind enough to entertain that question in the moment. So again, we don't want anybody to leave with any questions. So if you brought them or if something comes up, please don't forget to share. Also, at the end of the program, there's going to be a survey. So when you close out of Zoom, something's going to pop up, a survey that's going to ask you how we did. There are a few questions and it won't take too long. At the same time, you'll get an email that will have the survey as well. We'd rather you finish the survey right after the program. That way, everything that we've covered is fresh in your mind. Any feedback we get from you, we can tweak the programming going forward. We've done it from the previous programs to this one. So anything that you can provide, believe me, we do read through them and we want to make sure that we bring the best program to our region and anybody outside of our region that's watching this. Finally, I want to remind everybody that this is being recorded. At a future point, we will post it to our YouTube page. And when we share it on social media, it'll be out there for you to rewatch if there was something that you caught, but you want to kind of cover again, look at again, watch again, or if somebody wanted to attend it, but they couldn't. So as soon as it's out on YouTube, we will definitely let everybody know and we'll share that across all our different social media platforms. So enough about me. Now let's meet Loretta. I just want to go through her bio and just give you a background on Loretta, who she is. And if there's anything that I mess up, Loretta, please correct me. Loretta Stevens is a high-performance career brand and marketing strategist and leader of innovation and change. She works with the public and private sector and nonprofit and serves as an executive coach and trainer to executives, managers, and their teams, helping them reach their full potential by using proven career brand methodologies and modalities that are backed by Fortune 500 companies. As a brand strategist and trusted marketing advisor, Loretta helps clients leverage the strength of their brand so that they can serve others above and beyond their expectations. Her professional background is in technology sales and marketing, with award-winning success in creating multi-million-dollar markets from zero, working with global corporations, small and medium-sized businesses, as well as startups. She's earned an impressive growth track record in exceeding profits for her clients, and also has helped, this is very important, also has helped hundreds of executives through career transitions during global crises, like what we're going through now in 2020, what we went through in 2008, and what we went through in 2011. Loretta is the founder of the Senior Executive Women's Network, and she's co-authored 2 books in the 101 Ways to Compete in a Job Search series. She's a published resume writer in Just Resume Books. Her firm, Competitive Edge Branding, is designed to work strategically and creatively with clients to develop their competitive edge so that they'll stand out and succeed in a crowded marketplace with the proper brand, message, and go-to marketing strategies. As you can see, she's been a specialist in both the organizational and individual level. And I believe, as she demonstrates, that you can move those lessons across the organizational to individual back and forth, but she'll get into that in the course of this event. So thank you, Loretta, again for joining us tonight, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, John. That was a great introduction. I appreciate it. What I realize is that time really flies, you know, and just so much has gone by. And so a lot has happened since then. Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. I want to thank the AMA for having me tonight. I want to say, I mean, putting this together for you was real intentional. I mean, the group got together, we all got together, the board, myself, and we really discussed tonight's program. So I really hope that you will find this beneficial to you and where you're at right now in your career and business. And so what I have planned tonight is we're going to go through some slides and some workshop material. I've got 2 lessons for you, and I'm going to share my screen right now and get started. Okay, great. John, can you just give me a checkpoint that you can see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, awesome. So this is Leverage Your Brand in the New Decade, and what's happening right now, we're going to go through in this agenda. I really want to get into the global problem with you that we're all facing, and also address the 6 mega shifts that are now shaping our business and career in this new economy. And of course, we want to leverage your personal brand, where you're at now, how you've been using your brand previously, and where you can take it going forward. And that's when we'll do a breakout exercise with you. And then we're going to come back and do some branding, storytelling, and talk about your career marketing. And I'm going to give you another exercise, and we will not have breakout rooms. This will be an individual exercise. Okay? And so I have to take you back a little bit earlier this year when I started doing talks and we started wearing masks, and it was, you know, I don't know, early spring, April-ish. And so I got my new mask, you can see the tag on there, brand new. And I said to myself, you know, this isn't gonna last. And I figured, you know, this would be gone like within a month or 2. And so in my next presentation, I realized this was sticking around and actually Googled like Adobe stock photos and started to see all these stock photos with masks and everybody wearing masks and doing social distance sharing. And that's when I realized it was a real thing that we have really entered into this year. And so the other major, you know, so the global problem that we're all facing now really has been caused the result of social distancing. I mean, let's just look at this. Social distancing has created a global problem because being out in public is now at risk. And, you know, this has affected everything that we do, how we work, travel, learn, and play. And so this global platform, this global problem that we're in has instilled fear in all that we do. And as a result, we're wearing masks so that we feel safe and secure. And so we social distance because that makes us feel good and that we're not going to get this virus. I have to share with you, I'm very much missing this human connection with y'all. I mean, if we were all in person here, you know, we would just be, you know, looking eye to eye and just sharing. You know, that's why I have a sign here, welcome AMA. I'm just like trying to make this real, like I'm in the room with you. So, you know, I certainly miss it like you do. But we're doing our best to deal with the new normal. Okay, so let's keep going on to the global problem here that's really expanded, and that's why it's so important that we talk about this to you as marketers. Right now, we're in a fear-based communication, you know, world. Everything is, you know, related to, you know, the housing market is panicking, it's work, layoffs, the uncertainty of the future, this coronavirus, when's it gonna end, right? This whole slide captures what's happening, the housing market. And so with the worries and concerns and how we do this well and eventually, you know, get ourselves out of this way of living, you know, when will we be back on track? And the burning question is when? And the amount of overwhelm, people dealing with these emotions has really caused a great level of frustration. And I think we all agree that what we're living in is at an all-time high. And this is another global problem that is just, you know, really spearheaded a lot of emotional conditions. Mental health is very real as conditions rise in all ages, You know, we're dealing with stress, anxiety, isolation, addiction, loneliness, depression. This is the messaging right now. This is what we're all, you know, feeling, and this is our messaging. This is what we're seeing in the marketplace. And so the opposite of this, right, is feeling safe and secure and healthy and so forth. And I'll share with you quickly. Unfortunately, I was in the hospital with my mom just a couple of days ago. Everything's fine. But when I realized at Bay State Hospital, I was just looking around the walls and just seeing what the signage was, like what they were, and it was all about, you know, hey, you know, stand strong, we got this. You know, we're here to protect you. We're going to keep you healthy and safe. And it was just all like really strong messages that don't be afraid to be here because we got your back. And I thought that was really important to let y'all know and recognize. Okay, so that was a quick synopsis of our global problem. I know we all get this, but I wanted to bring it to us now in this presentation because of where I'm going to take y'all next. We definitely acknowledge this is real. And so as a result of all these global problems, 6 mega shifts have occurred. And so before I go there, you know, we may be thinking about, you know, what does that mean for my career and business? Well, I just want to ask you something where your mindset's at. Because when you look at the slide, what do you see? Do you see an open road with a world of opportunity, or do you see a dead end? And it's really important that we put our mindsets in a good checkpoint, because there's so much good coming for marketers, and I want to get you excited. So first, before we get into all of that, the 6 mega shifts that are shaping the future of work and life are right here. Remote work, the gig economy, diversity, digital economy, education, and mental health. We're going to touch on these as I go through, because these shifts are going to, I want you to keep thinking about opportunities for yourself and your clients, and also how you can serve employers with these new shifts happening. And it's all because of these major global problems that we're having that this slide with 6 mega shifts has accelerated our world like in 3 months, which normally would take 20 years. And I'm sure you do this as well as I do. I always look at the global brands, the enterprise, the mega companies leading the world and seeing what they're doing. And remote work became a 6 mega trend, one of the 6 mega trends, because these companies here announced they were going to be remote until late 2021. And so what happens here is when the global enterprise announces, you know, news like this, the private sector follows, and so does everybody else, and this becomes a new normal. The other shift we're seeing too is that with these big global brands, the messaging they were coming out with was pandemic branding, advertising, and storytelling. And you know, you recognize some of these. We are all in this together. Together we will get through this, save lives, stay at home. We saw that on social media. We saw it in the circles. You know, this too shall pass, alone together. I've seen on LinkedIn, along with some new things that have come that are trending with open to work signs. But this has been the pandemic branding we have been seeing. And I encourage you, as you look at these taglines, how can you leverage these for your personal brand? How can you make this connection right now with your audience, you know, with your future employer? Can you put these on your resume? As a career strategist, I was using some of these taglines in my career portfolios for my clients so that we could connect with the employers that were reading their resume. They're in so much pain right now, guys. It's like we want to really meet them where they're at and show that we care and we're with them, and we as marketers can help them. Okay. The next mega trend I want to bring to your attention is the gig economy. I've been doing a lot of speaking on the gig economy, and it has been a solution for short-term work for people who've been laid off. And I want to talk to you about this a little bit more because this is going to grow, and I believe it's going to become an economy of its own. And so this book I was reading by Sarah Kessler, who's a journalist, is Landing the Right Gig, the New American Dream. Well, you know, there's a lot of pluses to this. And we're kind of moving into it now because people are enjoying the work-life balance they're getting with a solution like a gig contract or remote work even. Since so much of our freedom has been compromised and squeezed, we're finding freedom in the flexibility of our work schedule. And gig economy is providing that. And right now, how people are really finding balance is they're spending more time with family, and they're cooking at home, and they're going out in nature, and they're providing more self-care for themselves. Now, of course, there's a polar opposite to all of this. We talked about the mental health conditions that were rising, right? Well, on the opposite side, right, there's always a polar effect. On the other hand, people are really taking advantage of the remote work life and the gig economy and their schedules, and they're enjoying it, and they're leveraging this. And this is what I want you to know as marketers. So with the gig economy, there's some confusion around the term. And I get it because we use this, you know, I went through 2 downturns. I was in the 2008 downturn and also the 2011 downturn with the 9/11, obviously. And the gig economy was already starting to take off a little bit then. But now we're in technology, you know, with the technology we have far advanced to make this work as a new normal. So right now, I just want to clarify what gig is. So gig work. Gig work is independent workers paid by the gig. So it's a task or project that is in high demand. So consumers who need a specific service now, and we're seeing this with like Uber and Lyft and TaskRabbit, even Upwork, you know, Uber Eats and so forth. And the reason they can get this done, get service, consumers get this on demand is because of the mobile apps that are in this little device here that we download to our phones. And companies can connect a worker, anyone here in this room, you could apply to work for these companies right now through your mobile app and you could get a gig, okay? You can get a gig. And that is why Uber and Lyft have become so successful. Now, I'm gonna take you further in this because what we're also seeing in the gig economy is selling products with turnkey systems. Turnkey systems. There's 2 parts of this slide I want to tell you about. So Arbonne, Limelight, Melaleuca, Amway, all of these companies, if you're a part of this MLM, they have apps. They have apps you can download to your phone, and you can order right from your phone. I can work with someone and say, hey, just go to my website. I have my own personalized app because I'm an MLM rep, and you can order from me. Again, there's a way to get easy buying done, right? These companies in e-commerce, Etsy, eBay, and Amazon, if you have products, you can sell them right there. They have a turnkey system that will market and ship them for you, right? So these are all different opportunities for careers as a side hustle. And people are taking advantage of this for quick money. Now, as an advertiser, as a marketer, where's the opportunity here? Well, where's the industry going? This is a great, well, it's happening where advertising is taking place. It's all mobile apps. What area? Okay, hold on a second.
Loretta, we have a question. What does MLM stand for on that slide?
Thank you for the question. Multi-level marketing. Thank you for the question. Okay. Sell your skills as a labor or service business. This is another new trend, another trend that's exploding. Okay, sell your skills as a labor. On the left side, you're seeing cleaning, moving, lawn care, carpentry, and so forth, right? Business owners can make apps and download them to their phone to share them with their audience so that they can call and schedule an appointment. I just did this with my parents, actually last year with a snowblowing company. The company had an app, and I could just schedule an appointment for someone to go and take care of their driveway. Okay, and so this is a real thing. And on the other column here, graphic design, this is where we're seeing a lot of people sell their knowledge, their skill, sell their skill as a service business and develop a service business. And you'll see here graphic design, computer IT, writing, accounting, finance, and so forth. New ways to think about work in business. The other trend happening is franchise opportunities. This whole industry of franchise is really reinventing itself. New franchise models are popping up and are great examples. One great example is a food truck. Food truck is becoming a franchise. People are taking these businesses that are emerging out of the pandemic and creating franchise opportunities. And if you're interested in that, I would see your franchise rep. Okay. So we're in the middle of talking about 6 mega shifts. We just finished talking about the gig economy and the emerging trends there. Right now, the next shift here I want to talk about is the digital economy. And the digital economy is defined as marketing. Everything has to do, everything marketing, selling yourself, your business, your products, your services, also do on the internet. And so I broke out this slide for you in these different 5 components: email marketing, internet marketing, mobile marketing, video, and social media. And I want to ask you, where is your superpower in this? And expand on one of these and become an expert. And there's a lot of opportunity to own one of these silos that I'm going to share with you. Okay, so like email marketing, if you're a writer and a content writer, you can share articles, publications, you can write speeches and podcasts for people and do the email marketing campaigns. Internet marketing right now, it's the Google ads, Pinterest ads, LinkedIn, all the whole advertising space. Are you good with SEO and consumer insights? Mobile marketing, we just talked a little bit about apps. Video marketing, Zoom, this is it. Video marketers are in high demand right now. The technology to set this up, to set up backgrounds, to do the lighting, the audio. This is a huge demand for clients who need your help as a marketer to teach them how to do this. And then of course, social media and the integrated solutions there. Okay, so pick your lane, which is your specialty, and become an expert. Okay, so this is where I'd like to break out into an exercise with you. And I'm going to share with you what the exercise is and give you some instructions so that we can, yes?
Sorry to interrupt. We're having an issue with the breakout rooms. So can we approach it as if we didn't have the breakout rooms? Apparently, my being muted earlier wasn't the only malfunction. Is there a way to approach this where we just kind of keep it as one group, maybe ask for volunteers when the time comes?
Absolutely, yes. It works both ways. That's okay. It'll work both ways. So yes, no worries. Okay. So we're going to do an exercise. We're going to do an individual exercise. And I'm going to walk you through what the instructions are. And I really want to invite the discussion because, and this will come up as we go. So let's get started with this. So we're going to work on a branding exercise. And I know we have a mixed audience right now listening. I know we have some people in business, and I know we have some people in career transition. And I just want to share with you this model. The career planning process is the same for everybody. It's know thyself well, which is the self-assessments. In this economy, in this pandemic, this has been a great time to really discover new strengths, skills, and talents that you have and how you're going to recreate yourself from here going forward. And so with my clients, we've been doing a lot of self-assessments and revisiting that, okay? And so that's the first part we're gonna talk about is how to do that. And explore what comes up from your self-assessment. When you discover more about yourself, what options do you create? And then taking some action, taking some risks, and seeing what works and what doesn't. All right. So the first exercise is leverage your career brand with your core values. And this goes back to really knowing thyself. What are your top 5 core values right now that are driving you? And so I'm just giving you some examples in this slide. And what I want you to do is you're going to make 3 columns. This is going to be your column on the left. So if I want you to take a piece of paper and a pen that you have, and on the left side of the paper, make a column that says core values. And I want you to list your top 5 and I'll give you a minute to do that. Here are some examples. It's loyalty, authenticity. You can kind of get the picture. Passion, efficiency, driven, reliability, commitment, all these things, right? Trust, I think we get with core values. What are your drivers? What are your drivers right now that, that you live by, your core values? It could be humor. It could be sincerity. There's so many core values. And we're just looking for 5, okay? So I'll give you 1 minute to do that. Okay, the next column, I want you to create a strengths column. Okay, so I want you to create a strengths column, and I want you to list your top 5 strengths. Now, your top 5 strengths, I gave you some examples here. It could be research, critical thinking, communication, marketing, leadership. It could be independence. It could be project management. Some of your top strengths right now, team leadership. Okay, so your top 5 right now, just take a minute and list those out right now on the second column. Okay, and these also are the 5 ways you solve a problem, right? The 5 ways you solve a problem. These are your drivers. These are your drivers that make you unique in solving a client's problem. Or maybe it's a leadership problem or a people problem. Superpowers, we call them. 5 ways to solve a problem. And if it's marketing, you can go specific down that lane, It could be messaging. Okay, I'll give you a second for that one. Okay, so that now you have your top 5 strengths and your core values. In the third column, I'm going to have you list your top 5 skills, top 5 skills. Okay, now skills and strengths, yes, they can be interchangeable. All right, so you can, right, strengths and skills are interchangeable, but skill I usually identify with something is more tactical, and like technical things, writing, it's skills like, how to do, putting presentations together. Solving a problem is a skill, it's also a strength, I get it. Being strategic is a skill, it's also a strength, right? So some of them are fluid, they're interchangeable. But right now, write your top 5 strengths, skills rather, excuse me, in this column. Okay, so as you have this work in progress chart going here, you're gonna have something that kind of comes out like this when you're done, okay? You have your 3 columns, the core values, strengths, and skills. And so what I want you to, take a few minutes, I'll give you a couple minutes to really think about this because we were gonna break out and do this. But I wanna show you how this is very cool and how this is done, okay? So each word will connect with the next one. So if you notice, these are brand statements, starting with the core values first. So it's driven, strategic, web developer. Authentic, you may have written authenticity as a core value, but we're going to change the tense to make it into, a present tense. Authentic, critical thinker, and problem solver. Trusted, the third one is trust. And I would make it past tense, trusted, creative, communications manager. So just see if you can fill in the sentences and complete some brand statements for yourself. Collaborative, leader, and video marketer. Friendly, facilitator, and trainer. And now where this gets really interesting is that as you connect these, Link your industry to show your knowledge and expertise. For example, driven strategic web developer for the auto industry, authentic critical thinker and problem solver for healthcare providers, trusted creative communicator for financial planners, collaborative leader and video marketer for startups, friendly facilitator and trainer for enterprise teams. And so this is a great exercise for you to just maybe, spend a little time doing this tonight. And I don't expect it to be completely done. I want to get you in a place where you can continue building this out for yourself. All right, so we are going to allot, what do you want to say, 15 minutes for this exercise, John? We were going to do breakouts. What would you like to do?
Yeah, 15 minutes works.
To work on this? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we will come back at 10 of 8. Okay?
Yeah, and when the time comes, Loretta, if you want to ask for a volunteer and somebody wants to step up, if they feel brave enough, we can put them to have audio and video to obviously show them as they're speaking to you. I mean, if somebody feels comfortable with that, they can do that.
Yes.
So we can go from there when you want to pick a volunteer to go over this exercise.
Yes, absolutely. We'd love some sharing with y'all. So absolutely, we welcome that. And it's really fun. We can also help you co-create some if you're stuck, okay? So, all right, so 10 of 8, we'll be back. I'm just gonna put myself on mute for a second. If you can't ask questions.
Loretta, the other thing I wanted to mention is if people don't want to come on video or even audio, we can do only audio to share their exercise. They can just paste it in the chat. That way, people aren't working on something right now and it goes to get lost if we don't cover it and maybe give it some feedback. If people want to share, so there's always that option
Yes.
to just put it in the chat.
Yes, that would be wonderful. Chat is great, and we can coach through chat and share. Not a problem. If anyone has any questions, though, I'm here, you can post the questions in the chat, too, if you're stuck.
Loretta, just to clarify, we got a question about how this particular page that's up, how this is handled, where someone's asking, it doesn't have to be straight across like 111. You can say driven, creative, web
Yes,
developer, right?
yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yes, create as many as you can. Great question. How's everybody doing? Do you want to get a thumbs up if people are done?
Yeah, we could do that. If you're good to go with the exercise, put something in the chat, whether, I don't know, I'm not hip to this Zoom thing, but anything that lets us know that a good number of you are ready to go. And especially if you want to discuss, just let us know, raise your hand, and we can get to that.
Yeah, we have a couple more minutes, so 2 minutes.
Sure.
Okay, so how did y'all do with this? Did you find this easy or challenging?
All right, people, don't get shy now.
So hopefully you would have some brand statements and things to work with right now that you learned about yourself. And all of them are true. So everything you have written down in all columns are true about yourself. And how these can be used strategically to build out. I know it takes time and we have a short time together. And this is, some work I do with my clients that we build out over sessions. But certainly you have the template that can help you develop this as you go. And when you come up with some statements and truths about yourself that you would like endorsements for, then this gives you an entree to ask for testimonial. And a lot of people have trouble with testimonials because they're not really sure what to say about themselves. And truthfully, they don't know how they want to be known. And doing an exercise like this can help you get centered, right? And your strengths, skills, and core values, and help you to really shape, some things that, I am good at this. And this is my area of expertise. And I can build this out to be known for further in my brand. And I can use this to ask for testimonials. All right, so.
Hey, Loretta, just a clarification on the exercise. You got a question here about, the actual question is, does problem solving fit better in the strengths category or skills? I think you had said those two columns can kind of, they're kind of interchangeable, but what do you think about that question?
Right, it really depends on the type of problem that you solve. I mean, if your strength is to really solve a intricate, cybersecurity problem,
Yeah.
that's a strength, you know.
And I mean, you can specify it in that last column about with a specific skill in an industry. So you could say problem solving is your strength, and then your skill is what you're specifically solving problems in, right?
Correct. You could use that right in the technology arena in that example I just shared. Yeah.
Perfect.
And you
Thank
could
you.
flip it too. It could flip it too, right? Because you could say you're a leader in solving technical problems that include, network security, IT security. I think it works best that way, actually, doing the problem solving first. You can try it both ways though. See what works for you. What sells you better is the answer.
Yeah, yeah, I like that response. So while we're waiting for some examples, and I know people evolve through their career. Can you give me, I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you give me two examples, maybe early career, and then where you would position yourself in this exercise? How would you describe yourself, say 15, 20 years ago to now?
I actually have two samples coming after this that I could share with you. A seasoned career person and a earlier career person. I have two
Okay.
samples coming up for you right after this.
So in the chat, we have Kevin with authentic branding strategist. We have another one that's a passionate strategic global marketer.
Nice.
I wish I could pick their brains about what it is that makes them each of those in each of those columns. Um,
Those are good, guys. Those are good. You're on the path. Those are the
so
right.
Teresa says this is a bit challenging because it's hard to convert core values, strengths, and skills into a statement that speaks to the benefits to clients. So I think what she means is you're speaking about yourself. So how do you reconcile between you saying in these three categories, this builds up to who I am? I think what Teresa's trying to say, how do you reconcile who you are, what you're trying to show, and tap into what that customer or client's going to need you for?
Yes, great question, Teresa. Thank you. You want to tie it to the outcome that you deliver. So keep working on the brand statement. Those are the attributes that make up you, your unique way of actually executing what you do well. That's your unique process. And so just tie it to an outcome that you deliver for the client.
Empowering communicator and mentor, collaborative, results-driven marketing leader, genuine, innovative, action-oriented marketer. We have a submission here, driven, creative problem solver. And Daniel's asking, please comment on how I can make it better because I'm not too confident about it.
Yes, you're still general, very, very good observation. What is it that you create? So
Yeah.
right. So what is it? What is the thing you're creating? Is it a
And
website, a problem solving website? Is it a campaign?
yeah, the
And
tricky
for
thing
what
with,
industry? And for what industry?
yeah. And the tricky thing with Daniel, I think, is that he's still a student, which obviously that's not a hindrance. But what I find with coaching students is so often, obviously at that point, our path forward was so vague, so we don't have the best idea of what we're going into. And believe me, I think any of the older people here, myself included, can vouch that your career is going to change from phase to phase. So I mean, if you're a student, if you're a graduate student and you're on here, I would believe, Loretta, please correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
and it doesn't seem like it's sharp enough, you kind of evolve into it. The more you do your work, you get more comfortable with it. You can define it more. You can just describe it more and give examples to why you're column one, column two, column three. What do you say to somebody who may be on the younger side who doesn't feel like theirs is sharp enough or refined enough?
Yes, I know. Working with students and graduates or new career, professionals, always about the skills you're learning in school or what you have been learning, and just how you're problem solving, even just in your personal life. If maybe you fixed a bike, and how just the process you did in fixing that bike. But you learn a lot of things in school. You work with teams, with your classmates. You're problem solving in in those groups, and those are skills too that you could use as you describe and tell your story about yourself. And conversational stories are the best stories for new professionals. And I have an example to share with you that will really help you open some doors. And I just completed a LinkedIn profile for someone who just graduated, and it worked out fantastic. And I'll share that with you. I think it'll help you a lot.
And then one more comment before we jump to the next section. Kevin would provide or share that he says to ask people you know to describe you in a work situation. The words get easy to find when you hear the same description from others, even friends who are students. So I think that does help a lot. Sometimes there's so much that we don't see of ourselves. We probably see 15% of 100% of what we are. So that's great advice, Kevin, to ask people what they see in you.
Yes.
To give you ideas and kind of spark that creativity about yourself.
Yes, and I have a free assessment for you to ask people to do that. I share with everyone, and I was going to share it with y'all too, but since we're talking about it, it's the 360 Reach 15-day free assessment that allows you to share it with others and to give you feedback about what they think your brand is. And I welcome you to take that, and I can share the link with you.
That's awesome. All right, Loretta, is it possible to move on to just the next section so we don't cut off any of the other exercises you wanna share with us?
Yeah, I still got some good stuff coming. So yes, okay. So let's continue on with the samples that we were talking about. And there's 5 types of brand summary styles that you can use for the COVID-19 economy, okay? So we're not gonna go over all 5. I'm gonna share with you 2 that'll give you some examples on how to write your brand style, write about yourself, and I'm gonna give the rest to you. You could email me. Do I have this here? Yes, I'll give you that after, and I'll send them to you, or I can send them to the AMA team and they can send them to you. But these are the 5 strategies to communicate yourself now. Okay, and you can also use these communication models I'm going to share with you. You can use them in your LinkedIn. You can use them as a cover letter. You can use them as door openers in your networking and so forth. So think along those lines as I go through this. And here's my email that I will send to you. This is Loretta@CE Branding, very easy, and you'll see it at the end of this presentation as well. So here are 2 brand styles. Now, this is the global brand summary style. And I've broken out, and you know this as marketers, some of you, broadly speaking, generally speaking, and specifically speaking. So broadly, I help global retailers make smart decisions when selecting our consumer products that deliver on our corporate brand promise in support of our customers during COVID-19. Yes, you can snap these slides, don't worry. The general statement. Currently, I am open to new opportunities as a global retail account manager who services large client companies that may include Walmart, Costco, and Kohl's. My specialties involve a vast knowledge in consumer products that include a variety of food and beverage items, hair care, and organic soaps. I have achieved record sales during the pandemic as a result of my keen focus on the wants and needs of the customer during these uncertain times. Okay, so this is really sharing how this person is agile and can shift into addressing the current conditions. It shows a versatility for most professionals that you can use the broad, general, and specific examples in real time. So this is a very easy one to develop for yourself. The second one that I'm going to share is the conversational brand style, which really works for younger professionals who we were just sharing about. And this story is an experience story. So when I was 25, I climbed Mount Everest. I literally climbed it because I had set a goal to do it 5 years earlier. While I was hiking up that mountain, I thought about quitting 1,000 times. I'm sure that number was higher. However, despite the rainy conditions, low altitude, and physical exhaustion, I kept going. I am that person. I knew that I would reach the top, and I did. Now, this is a success story, so you could use any frame to do a success story. Now I put that perseverance to work as an account manager for a leading marketing agency. I'm well-versed in growing existing accounts through my planning and development skills, relationship management, and more. And here's a call to action you could use. If you're interested in reaching me for a coffee chat, I'd be glad to share with you how to survive those rainy conditions. So this is just a nice story sharing example of perseverance, not necessarily about all the problem solving experiences you've had because you haven't had a long career yet. Something that shows that, you know, you've actually started something and finished it, persevered it through the hardship and succeeded, and you're willing to share how you did it. Okay, those are my 2 samples, and I'll give you the other 3. Okay, so now I'm gonna shift gears. I'm gonna take you down a place where you can use your brand statements that you just made, all the new discovery, or just putting down your strengths, skills, and values. The next trend that is really emerging fast, and I'm not sure if you're seeing this or not, let me know in the chat if you're seeing this, and it's becoming a knowledge broker. It's selling what you know, okay? It's becoming a mega trend. And there's a lot of career benefits strategically in selling your knowledge and marketing what you know. And authentic branding is one of them. You become a thought leader. It helps you stand out amongst other candidates. It helps you stand out amongst other competitors in your business. YouTube education, you could do YouTube videos, teach people what you know, show your thought leadership on video. Certainly these courses that you're seeing, Udemy and Coursera, have been around for years, but people are taking advantage of this platform to market themselves and to market their businesses as the thought leader. And it's your content. So there's benefits here. People learn faster from each other. This is a rapid learning curve that we just said earlier, that 20 years it usually takes for new trends to really, really mature. And we've just done this in 3 months. Education is doing the same thing. And this is an example of how education is really not collapsing, but condensing, accelerating through people teaching their knowledge faster than getting a college degree. And so this has become it's a mega trend. Okay, leverage your career skills and experience into your career portfolio and stories to set yourself apart. So there's many ways you can use your knowledge to market yourself. This is very hot in branding right now, so I wanted to share this with you. Okay, so here's my second exercise, and I ask you to put your thinking caps on because I'm going outside of the boundaries. So if you were to teach something, you know, without a PowerPoint, if you didn't need a PowerPoint to teach someone, you know, what would that be? There's many things that we know outside of business, and so I just want to tap your brain a little bit. So if you could list the top 4 things that you know the most about right now in your life, just four things, that you could talk about for 10 to 15 minutes without having to prepare a presentation. You could just roll it up and show them what to do. Some examples could include, you know, yes, your career history, skills, different jobs you've held, industry categories of leadership. That's all business stuff. But what about family or travel or food or hobbies or activities or health and wellness? What about exercise? What about cooking? What about how to start a business? And so forth. And so these are all areas that you could build your own consulting business out of. Okay, just saying, another alternative for your career. Now, marketers, I want you to listen because businesses, there's 11 million people, I don't know if I have this slide with me today, 11 million people still out of work. All right, 11 million people still out of work. Not all of them are going to return to the workforce. They're going to buy a franchise, they're going to start a business, they're going to need consulting, they're going to need coaching, they're going to need your help, they're going to need advice. This is a market I just want you to be aware of. That is 40% of women are not going back to the workforce. That's one already statistic that I know. Okay. So take a minute now and John, do you want to take 10 minutes to do this, or how do you want to have it do this for like 5 minutes? Like, what do you, if you could
I'd say maybe like 5 to 7 minutes, just so we have time for Q&A.
Okay, great. Okay, good.
So maybe, yeah, come back maybe like 8:13, 8:14, something like that.
Okay, we can teach what you know. And then here's what I want you to do as you do this. As you identify what is you know, identify what's good about it, what's not so great, what are the opportunities that may be available to you, and what would be the threats. And the threats usually are economic threats, you know, COVID lasts another year, those types of things. That would be next after this. So I know it's a little, and you will continue to work on this. We're not going to get it all done tonight, but I just wanted to get you thinking differently about your business and career, and what else you could be teaching if you were to sell what you know. Okay, and there's a SWOT. I'll just keep the SWOT here so you can analyze, and we'll come back at 8:15.
Loretta, somebody's asking if you could please share the side hustle slide again at some point. So maybe people have enough from this PowerPoint to do this exercise. Would you be able to go back to the side hustle slide for a few? There you go, Greg. So Loretta, for this exercise, what are some examples in the past, or what are some examples of each of the segments in the SWOT that you've seen in your career or working with the executives or anybody that you've worked with as a coach?
Right, so I have I don't know if we had time, but I do have a slide for that as well. And the example I'm using is with Ancestry.com.
Okay.
All right, so it's a
And I
good,
swear every time she says I have a slide for that,
I
I
know, because
didn't look ahead.
I'm prepared. That's what, no, but it's a good example. And it's just, you could as a coach, right? You become a certified coach in all that you want to coach in, whether it's career or business. However, you can also leverage a platform to broker your coaching with, okay? And so if you're teaching your knowledge, that's fantastic, but some ways you could stand apart in the coaching industry is to really narrow in on your niche, on your brand, and partner up with a platform or a system that will help launch your coaching brand. And so since we're in the knowledge industry right now, I have an example that I was going to share with you about how this is done with Ancestry.com. And so the sample is, this is a generational coach who's partnered up with Ancestry.com. And here is a SWOT sample right here that we can go through. I just I didn't want to interrupt. But in a coaching situation, here's how you can leverage your expertise as a generational coach with Ancestry.com and work with a client to help them understand where their roots are coming from.
Gotcha.
So I'll leave
Do
this
any
slide
of
up
our
here as well.
attendees, I'm sorry, what?
No, I'll leave this slide for people to check out.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on this exercise, the SWOT exercise? Are things falling into place? Is this a little easier than the first exercise with the 3 columns? It's amazing when someone asks us to kind of really put down what we're about, how difficult it can be, especially if you're getting specific about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. But it's a good exercise because it gets you thinking about yourself, which we're just very passive about, really breaking down who we are and what we can do for others.
It's so true what you say, John. And we never really take time out for ourselves to assess our unique zone of brilliance,
Yeah. All right, does anybody have any examples that they want to share? Again, you can volunteer. We can do it by audio, video, or you can just put it in the chat. We can walk through some of the examples. I can read them off to Loretta.
I realize this may take some time and really some
Yeah.
thought. So really, guys, don't feel pressured.
Yeah.
I went through just different alternatives to how you could work and run a business and market yourself in these different scenarios. So these are all opportunities that you can choose going forward in your business and career.
And again, I mean, this is just a starting point, what you said before, an introduction to anybody that hasn't done it. Unfortunately, we can't get to everybody's examples and kind of break down and give each other feedback, but it's a great start. It's a great introduction. And it's very valuable. I've seen this before. I've used it before. And again, it changes. My point that I would contribute to this is it can change from year to year. I mean, the more you keep learning, the more you're curious. From year to year, you just keep evolving. So this is a very valuable exercise.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I do teach this. That's what my work is about. So I do have workshops on all of this and putting it together and helping business owners and career transitioners really, get the results they're looking for. So.
All right. I don't know if people are maybe stumped by this one. It is, again, challenging to reach into yourself and come up with these, but I don't see the examples that I did with the first exercise. Does anybody have any? We can move to Loretta. Did you have to finish a few more slides before the Q&A, or can we jump into the Q&A? What works for you?
Yes, no, let's do that. I really just wanted to make the point to be open to new opportunities. And as you discover these new strategies for yourself, to actually put a plan together and to go back to just helping, what goals do you actually want to reach, going forward as we go into 2021 and come up with a strategy. And just remember that right now, the world is just in a very delicate place. And so as you market yourself on social media and other platforms, just remember that trust is really something coming up for people, and to just remember to be empathetic and sharing and, sincere when you post on social media.
Yeah. And the other thing that stands out just based on everything you've laid out is just how important it is to write things out, to see them laid out, because we tend to go through life and working through it with our, nose to the grindstone, trying to get through it. But when you really step back and write things down and see them out, whether they're your goals, your strengths, your weaknesses, your fears, when you write it down, just this demonstrates how important that is to really see it for yourself. And it makes it come alive when you write it down and see it.
It really does. And because we're not meeting in person, it's just really hard to get, a personal connection. And so we have to use our words in a really understanding way as we connect online.
Loretta, what's the biggest mistake you see people creating with people creating career brands? I'm sure you
Yeah,
have tons of examples, but what's one of the bigger ones you see?
well, is that they won't invest enough in the work. And some of them struggle to get to the breakthrough. And it can be frustrating to get to the breakthrough for your career brand. It's what I teach is that it's a constant, motion. You're in constant forward motion with your brand. Like right now in the world, we're just taking our brand forward into where it needs to be next. And that's just the way branding, that's we're human beings. So our brand is always going to evolve and grow. And so that's a challenge. What I help people do is just, where you are now, where you are now, and where do you want to go? It's clarifying their goals, and so that we can help them with a career brand to meet their goals.
And have you seen, I can see people, any of us, no matter what age, whether you're a student to a seasoned professional, I could see people maybe trying to be something they're not or trying to sell themselves as something that they're not really authentically, like trying to
Yeah.
be something for their client. But if you're not genuine, if it's not really you, and that's why you spoke to the core values. But I could see people getting in trouble trying to fit that circle for the client, but really, the shape of a square or a rectangle where their values don't jibe, but they're still trying to sell themselves as something that sounds good. Do you see that problem a lot?
Yeah, that's know thyself is what I go back to. Know thyself, and it's not working.
Yeah. Let's see. What is your opinion? Speaking of career branding and personal branding, what's your opinion about using open work messaging on your photo on LinkedIn? That's something that we're seeing more and more is, the hashtag open to work. So people let people that are going through LinkedIn know right off the bat, not even going through their profile, but in their image saying open to work. Do you think that kind of degrades their career brand, their personal brand, or is that just an honest tool and a sign of the times?
Yeah, no, I think it's a sign of the times, and it's perfectly fine to use. Yeah, I support it right now in this crisis pandemic. Absolutely. Especially, it could help if they have a solid career brand and they say they're open to work and it catches a recruiter's eye or an employer's eye, that it's just, hey, this person's available now and we need somebody now.
Let's see. If you have a lengthy career with many experiences, how do you focus on what's most important?
So many experiences actually gives you a well-rounded brand that gives you an opportunity to really fit into many industries. So it's a super plus to have a lot of diverse experience in different industries. In the past, we would never say that would be, the truth, because people didn't like to see checkered resumes with 3 or 4 years of experience or 2 years. But right now, you want to build a hybrid strategy to really combine the best of all those experiences you've had, and just build a well-rounded brand for yourself and market that.
And in your bio, I had mentioned you've done a lot of resume work. With this kind of exercise and what people take away in terms of the first exercise, the 3 columns, the values, the strength, the skills, the most recent exercise, the SWOT. I mean, it's such a loaded question, but what's the best way to approach demonstrating that before you even get your foot in the door, maybe on a resume or a cover letter? And I know that's a loaded question and we're limited on time, but are there any kind of quick tips or just a mentality that people should use as they try to craft their message into what they submit to a company for a job opening?
You always want to focus on the outcomes that you can deliver to what the employer is asking for in the job description. So if you have a wide range of experience and you can fit into many industries, I mean, what is it that you really want at this point? Get clear on that. And then as you look at for the job descriptions, you want to mirror what the language is there. And I think a lot of people know that, but you want focus on the outcomes that you can deliver. just, and that can and demonstrate your value in that.
Here's a good one. You've mentioned social media, so we have one from Daniel again. So do you think you should say your own opinions and ideologies on LinkedIn, or should you be more conservative and keep your opinions to yourself? And I mean, obviously that's going to depend on who's asking the question, what kind of, well, not even the industry, but just what, I guess, kind of opinions they're sharing. What are your thoughts on that, on how much people share career versus personal opinion? I'm guessing Daniel's trying to get across when they share things on social media, on LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn is still a professional site, and you want to show up as your best self as a professional. I mean, you want to show up as helping people too in your posts and share your knowledge to help them, whatever they're posting. I would be careful about sharing your opinions, because a lot of opinions, it's up to you what you want to create, because some people want to create, a thread of opinions, posts. And I would just be mindful if you're looking for a job and you want to get hired. People are looking at what you're posting on all of your platforms, and to be mindful how you're marketing and branding yourself there.
We have another comment about that particular opinion, and any comment kind of helps, but it says, my 2 cents for marketers: you are being evaluated on every post on your marketing skills, so be careful. Loretta, we have another question from Steve. He says, your previous example, or your example, related the exercise to work during the pandemic, which is great to demonstrate recent relevance. But what if we've been out of work during the entire pandemic? And what's tricky about friends that I have, and this is now me speaking, what's tricky about friends that I have that have been out of work, it's like, you were out of work before trying to find a job, the pandemic hits, and now the workforce, unemployment is high, there's more people out there, companies have more options. So what about the people that were out of work beforehand? How should they approach it?
It's a very tough situation. I'm not going to deny that. It's very tough. One of the reasons I went through this presentation with y'all is to give you some alternatives to traditional work that hopefully your brand could perhaps be a fit into for something else, or doing side hustles until you can get hired, volunteering, networking. Networking is huge. There is contract work available in the short term. In fact, I have some links that I could share with you for contract work that may help you just land some things for a couple months at a time. It's definitely a tough time, not going to deny. There's a lot of job openings, however, and so you want to remain optimistic for that. As you market yourself, you're sharing the truth. You're like a lot of millions of people. You've been affected by the pandemic, and you were on your way to get hired and you're affected by the pandemic. I'm working with clients right now that have been out of work for almost 2 years as a result. So there are options. It's tough. There are options though. And I would encourage you to see what else you can, be open for yourself in the flex jobs, and work with a coach and work with your networks, go to the reemployment groups. I know. It's tough.
This is definitely a timely presentation, because if there's anything that I've learned during the pandemic, it's that people are not good at telling their own story. They're not good, whether it's humility, whether it's shyness, whether it's that they just don't know. It's amazing how much people don't know their own story. And if they don't, they're not the best at sharing that story. So this has been a very timely discussion. So thank you for your time, Loretta. I think I've captured all the questions, most of the questions that are in the chat. At this point, I think we can close out the session, but is there anything that you want to share just in closing out this awesome session that you've put on for us?
Thank you. I'm really grateful to have done this for y'all, and I hope you found, if not anything, 1 or 2 things that would help you think differently about business and career that you connected with. So thank you so much. Certainly reach out to me. I'm happy to help you with your branding or anything you need help with. Just please reach me. I'm accessible on LinkedIn. I do have a workshop coming up in December. It's for a whole month, working with me one-on-one for the month to get your career brand and gig started, or whatever you want to accelerate some income. So that's someone that helping you to get money fast. So look me up there, but and please keep the faith.
Yeah.
Have a positive mindset. Have a positive mindset. and don't let it, just keep going and just hang out with the people that will help you to keep that positive mindset going. It means everything.
Awesome. Thank you, Loretta. I was curious. I didn't want to volunteer any advice you could provide, but if anybody has any questions that you couldn't think of now, something that comes up later afterwards, maybe when you're filling out the survey in a couple minutes, please reach out to me or Loretta. We're both on LinkedIn, or anybody at AMA Connecticut, and we'll make sure that the question gets answered. Loretta, thank you so much for the time that you shared with us and the exercise you provided and the guidance you provided. This is a timely discussion, so we appreciate it so much.
AMA is doing such great things. You are the best for marketers, and I wish you all the best this year. You guys have a great plan for what you're doing, and everybody should be a member. So I hope that you have a fantastic membership going, and I encourage everyone to check you out. So thank you.
That's a perfect segue, and I did not give you a heads up on that. I swear we didn't prepare anything that's happened that looked like we shared notes, but in any case, in that same vein, please go to the website. To the attendees that are here, thank you for attending. Go to the website. There you'll get alerts. You can sign up for alerts on upcoming events, including our December event, which is Reset for Growth, a mindful conversation to energize your new year. Leading that discussion will be Anita Barbaro, transformational health coach and founder and owner of Renew Your Health, LLC. The event will focus on resetting your goals for future growth because of the unprecedented challenges in the year that shall not be named. We want you to walk away from this mindful conversation energized and ready to kickstart your new year. That'll take place on Tuesday, December 8th from 7 to 8. And here's a call to action for both members and non-members. Follow us on social media, sign up to be a member, keep an eye out for networking opportunities and mentorship programs and all the other services we provide. Spread the word on our upcoming events and share your suggested topics for discussion. We're always open to learning new things and trying to figure out where we should go with these conversations. So I appreciate everybody that came tonight. Loretta, again, thank you so much. And everybody have a great night.
Thank you.